The galaxy had grown complacent. Countless civilizations had reached for the stars, charted vast interstellar territories, and boasted about their technological superiority, yet few dared to explore the unremarkable sector beyond the outer rim of Sol's star system. It was not considered a dangerous area. No hostile energy readings, no pirate activity, no cosmic anomalies were detected. But somehow, this region had been consistently ignored. It had become a blind spot, an empty canvas the galaxy had overlooked, until Dr. Vera Catal arrived. Dr. Catal was a historian, an expert in pre-civilization artifacts and interstellar archaeology from the Zelvar Empire. Unlike most of her peers, she was fascinated not by what civilizations claimed, but by what they might be hiding, or what had been left behind before civilizations emerged at all. Her research focused on gravitational anomalies and uncharted asteroid belts, looking for evidence of structures that could not be explained by natural formation. For decades, she had pursued rumors of ancient megastructures in the Sol sector, stories dismissed as myths or miscalculations by other historians. Yet her intuition insisted there was truth hidden beneath the ice and rock. Finally, she detected it. Subtle deviations in gravitational readings suggesting massive artificial constructs buried beneath layers of asteroid debris. The anomalies were enormous, far exceeding the size of any contemporary space vessel or station. Suspicious of their origins, she requested a discreet probe to explore the site. The probe, equipped with high-resolution imaging and advanced scanning technology, was launched with care. When the first images arrived, the results were astonishing. The probe revealed colossal warships lying dormant, arranged in perfect formation. Their architecture was unlike anything known to the galaxy, sleek yet massive, functional yet designed with an elegance that suggested an advanced and purposeful intelligence. Even more striking were the carvings, the markings on the hulls, symbols unmistakably human. Though the ship's design was clearly ancient, predating any historical records of human civilization by millennia, the presence of these symbols could leave no doubt humans had built them. The galaxy's reaction was immediate and varied. Scholars were skeptical, suggesting the probe's readings were flawed or that the symbols were a coincidence, misinterpreted by human-centric researchers. Military leaders, however, whispered anxiously in private chambers, realizing that if the discovery was genuine, the implications were terrifying. Here lay a fleet of incomprehensibly advanced warships, predating any known civilization, yet unmistakably human in origin. It raised immediate questions. How long had humanity existed in the shadows? What technological secrets had been preserved? And perhaps most importantly, why had humans chosen silence? Despite the magnitude of the discovery, humans themselves remained silent. Earth's governments, who had known of the fleet for centuries, made no attempt to publicize the revelation. In secret command centers and hidden space stations, human engineers continued monitoring the fleet, conducting maintenance and upgrading systems quietly. The galaxy remained unaware that the humans had always been watching, always been prepared, and always been far more capable than anyone suspected. The enormity of the situation was compounded by the fleet's sheer size and condition. The warships had endured millennia of neglect, yet showed no signs of structural failure. They were built to last beyond the lifespan of civilizations, designed for a level of durability and resilience unmatched by contemporary technology. This fact alone raised the stakes. The humans who had built these vessels had not only possessed advanced engineering and weaponry far beyond current galactic standards, but they had also anticipated the rise of other civilizations and prepared for potential conflict long before anyone else could conceive of spacefaring empires. As news of the discovery slowly leaked through rumors, academic papers, and intercepted communications, the galaxy began to grasp the gravity of the situation. Ancient, hidden, and undeniably human, these ships were not relics of a primitive past. They were a reminder that humanity's story had always been deeper, older, and more formidable than anyone had imagined. Even before civilizations emerged across the stars, humans had already built a fleet capable of influencing the course of galactic history. A fleet that had been waiting patiently for the right moment to awaken. While the galaxy debated, speculated, and questioned the origins of the hidden warships, humans quietly continued their preparations. The discovery of the fleet by outsiders, the Zelvar historian and her probe, was not unexpected. For centuries, humans had known of these ships and understood their potential. These vessels, some larger than the combined fleets of entire star empires, had been constructed long before the rise of recorded human civilizations. They were more than war machines. They were strategic reserves, a legacy of foresight and patience, safeguarded to ensure humanity's survival across eons. Each ship had a self-sustaining quantum core, an advanced energy system that could operate independently for thousands of years. This allowed the vessels to remain dormant yet fully functional, even as the galaxy's civilizations rose and fell around them. Humans maintained secret stations, discreetly positioned in orbital enclaves, or hidden within asteroids, to monitor the ship's systems. These stations were not mere observational posts. They were maintenance hubs, where engineers and scientists kept the fleet in prime condition, upgrading systems with technology invisible to the wider galaxy. Every warp drive, every weapon system, every sensor array had been tested, calibrated, and optimized across centuries. When the Zelvar probe triggered the first active response from the fleet, the hidden mechanisms responded as designed. It began with subtle changes. Engines hummed softly, quantum shields flickered to life, and targeting systems performed automatic diagnostics. These ships, though ancient, were designed to awaken at the slightest intrusion or anomaly, reflecting the humans' strategic thinking. The fleet's response was not aggressive, it was precautionary, a demonstration of readiness and deterrence. Then, the first alien scout ship ventured too close. It approached with curiosity rather than hostility, oblivious to the centuries of silent observation that humanity had maintained. The humans allowed the ship to pass into range, observing through orbital sensors and hidden monitoring stations. As the scout reached the optimal point, the fleet responded. Within moments, its engines were neutralized, its sensors jammed, and its communications silenced. Not a single life was lost, but the alien crew was left paralyzed with fear and confusion. The demonstration was precise and surgical, a clear message to any who might consider human technology a primitive novelty. This display of control underscored the humans' strategic advantage. They had mastered the delicate balance of power, showing capability without triggering panic or provoking a preemptive strike. The galaxy, with all its empires and fleets, had never encountered an opponent who combined patience, technological mastery, and strategic subtlety to this degree. The hidden fleet was more than a collection of ships. It was a statement of human foresight. It revealed that humans did not rush into conflict. They prepared, they observed, and they waited for the perfect moment to act. Meanwhile, the humans themselves remained largely invisible. While the galaxy debated the origins of the fleet and the significance of the symbols on the ship's hulls, Earth's governments and military command centers quietly coordinated with their orbital stations. Engineers ran diagnostics, recalibrated weapon systems, and simulated potential engagement scenarios. Tactical protocols that had been refined over centuries were updated to integrate new technologies, ensuring that every possible eventuality was anticipated. The humans understood that the galaxy's perception of their civilization was a key factor. Underestimation was their greatest weapon. By the end of this stage, the awakening of the fleet had achieved multiple objectives. First, it confirmed the authenticity and functionality of the warships to human observers. Second, it demonstrated to the galaxy, albeit indirectly, the scale and sophistication of humanity's hidden assets. Third, it sent a subtle warning. Humans had always been ready, always been observing, and the fleet was capable of extraordinary precision and control. The balance of power had shifted quietly, but decisively, without a single battle fought. Part 2 emphasizes one of the key HFY themes. Humans are patient, intelligent, and always prepared, qualities that make them formidable beyond the understanding of other civilizations. While alien empires rely on pride, rapid expansion, and overt displays of strength, humans operate in the shadows, leveraging time, strategy, and technology to create superiority. The awakening of the fleet is not an act of aggression. It is a revelation of centuries of meticulous planning, a calculated demonstration that humanity is a force that cannot be ignored or underestimated. The galaxy, still largely unaware, has only glimpsed the edge of human capability. The revelation of humanity's hidden fleet sent shockwaves across the galaxy. Word of the ancient warships, coupled with reports of their functionality and the precision with which they neutralized the Zelvar scout ship, reached the ears of every major interstellar power. For centuries, civilizations had measured themselves against one another, asserting dominance through fleets, weapons, and political influence. Yet none had encountered a species that combined millennia of foresight with technological mastery, to such a degree. Humanity, previously dismissed as a minor or primitive species, had quietly altered the balance of power. The Galactic Council, the highest interstellar governing body, convened an emergency session. Representatives from the most influential empires, Avari, Kalorn, Dravari, and others, assembled in a massive orbital chamber above the neutral planet of Orivalis. The atmosphere was tense, charged with disbelief, fear, and indignation. Delegates debated furiously. "Humans are a minor species," exclaimed Senator Thrix of the Kalorn Empire. "They have only existed as a spacefaring civilization for a few millennia. These ships must be relics of some unknown ancient civilization, or perhaps a coincidence. Their symbols are meaningless." "No," countered Vera Katal, the historian, who had first discovered the fleet. "The markings are undeniably human. This is not coincidence. The scale, the design, the engineering precision, all indicate a species far more advanced than we've given them credit for. They may have been preparing for this moment for thousands of years." Arguments raged. Some suggested preemptive strikes against Earth to seize control of the fleet. Others feared provoking humanity might be catastrophic. The room was divided between those advocating caution and those blinded by hubris, unwilling to accept that humans could surpass every other civilization in secrecy, patience, and technological capability. Then humanity arrived. Not with diplomacy, not with delegation, not with words of reassurance. They came in force. The hidden fleet, long dormant beneath asteroids and ice, emerged fully operational, orbiting in formation around the council chamber with flawless precision. These were no ordinary ships. They were titanic war machines, bristling with advanced weaponry, equipped with shields capable of withstanding concentrated attacks, and brimming with systems centuries ahead of the most sophisticated alien technology. The humans' arrival was deliberate and controlled. They did not fire. They did not deploy troops. Instead, they positioned their fleet to make a single, undeniable statement. Humanity had always been ready, and the galaxy had underestimated them. The sight of these vessels caused murmurs of astonishment, disbelief, and fear to ripple through the council chamber. Entire fleets, visible through orbital observation screens, seemed insignificant compared to the disciplined presence of human engineering. When the council's representatives demanded an explanation, humanity's response was concise and chilling. "We have always been here. You were never ready to see us." No elaboration was necessary. The statement alone carried the weight of millennia of preparation, of silent observation, of technological mastery. Every representative understood the implication. Humans had anticipated the rise of other civilizations, had foreseen potential threats, and had prepared accordingly. The fleet was not just defensive, it was strategic, intelligent, and controlled, with a precision no alien species could match. The psychological impact was immediate. Prideful empires, long confident in their superiority, were forced to confront the reality that humanity had been playing a game they didn't even know existed. Every argument, every threat, every claim of dominance suddenly seemed insignificant in the shadow of humans' centuries-long preparation. Delegates realized that any aggression against humanity would not result in victory, but likely in total annihilation, or at least humiliation. In Part 3, the story emphasizes one of the key HFY themes. Humans are calculated, patient, and utterly self-assured, capable of leveraging both technology and psychological strategy to achieve dominance without firing a shot. The scene highlights the stark contrast between human subtlety and alien hubris. While alien empires relied on immediate displays of power, humans had spent centuries perfecting a silent, unseen strength, allowing them to reveal it at the precise moment when it would have maximum impact. By the end of this part, the Galactic Council understood that the era of underestimating humans was over. The Hidden Fleet was no longer a myth or an anomaly. It was an active, undeniable force, a testament to human ingenuity, patience, and foresight. For the first time, the galaxy faced a species that had mastered the art of preparation, observation, and controlled revelation, a species that was ready to define the rules of interstellar power. After their arrival at the Galactic Council, humanity did not issue threats. They did not demand tribute or submission. Their strategy was simple yet profoundly effective. Demonstrate their superiority without a single shot fired in anger. The humans understood the psychology of power. True dominance did not need to be declared. It only needed to be observed. The demonstration that followed would redefine how every civilization in the galaxy viewed the human race. The first demonstration targeted the K'Lorn fleet, which had been the most vocal critic of humanity's capabilities. The K'Lorn were proud warriors, accustomed to showing strength and intimidating weaker species. When a single human destroyer approached their formation, their fleets prepared for confrontation, expecting diplomacy cloaked in posturing or, at worst, minor combat. They were entirely unprepared for what came next. Within minutes, the human vessel had mapped every K'Lorn ship in real time. Its sensors penetrated every shield, scanned every engine, and detected even the subtlest weaponry vulnerabilities. Humans had perfected centuries-long techniques for analysis, developed over countless simulations of hypothetical enemy fleets. This was not just raw firepower, it was total understanding of the battlefield. Then the humans acted, not with destruction, but with precision. They disabled the K'Lorn engines, leaving their fleet motionless, while simultaneously shutting down communications to prevent coordinated response. Weapon systems were neutralized through electronic suppression, not explosion, demonstrating an extraordinary level of control over alien technology. Despite the severity of the action, no lives were lost. The humans' goal was clarity. The fleet could annihilate the K'Lorn, but it chose restraint, proving both capability and restraint. The psychological impact was catastrophic for the aliens. Entire species, confident in their dominance, now confronted a reality they had ignored for centuries. Humans did not simply fight differently, they thought differently. Their approach combined patience, preparation, and precision in ways that no other civilization had ever considered. This was a species that could not be outmaneuvered simply by numbers or firepower. Every move was calculated, every response anticipated, and every engagement controlled. Beyond the tactical demonstration, the humans communicated their point through action alone. The K'Lorn fleet, once proud and ready for battle, had been rendered inert. Yet the humans pulled back. They left the alien ships intact but completely incapacitated. There was no carnage, no excessive destruction, only undeniable evidence of human superiority. By refraining from full-scale destruction, the humans conveyed two important messages simultaneously. They were merciful, and they were infinitely capable. News of the demonstration spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Reports from the Kalorn fleet, corroborated by independent observers and surveillance satellites, confirmed that the humans' hidden fleet was operational, technologically superior, and tactically brilliant. Civilizations that had once viewed humans as minor or insignificant now realized they had been deceived by appearances. Humans were not just participants in galactic affairs, they were architects of the strategic balance, able to manipulate it without ever engaging in open war. The demonstration also reinforced the Hidden Fleet's status as a psychological weapon. Unlike traditional armadas, which rely on intimidation or overt aggression, humanity's fleet leveraged anticipation and calculated control. Other civilizations now understood that engaging humans in battle would not be a simple contest of firepower. It would be a confrontation with a species that had prepared for millennia, studied countless enemies, and perfected the art of dominance. Without risking unnecessary conflict, this moment marked a turning point. The galaxy, long accustomed to traditional measures of power, began to reassess its strategies, alliances, and assumptions. Species that had previously competed for supremacy now approached humans with caution, awareness, and even respect. Diplomacy, trade, and negotiation would never be the same again. Humans had not demanded anything. They had merely revealed the truth of their existence, and that truth was inescapable. Part 4 emphasizes the HFY themes of human ingenuity, patience, and psychological mastery. Humans are shown not as reckless conquerors, but as disciplined strategists, capable of exerting dominance in ways the galaxy cannot fully comprehend. The demonstration is both a warning and a revelation. Humans do not need to destroy to prove their superiority. They only need to show that they could, and that realization is enough to change the course of galactic history. By the end of this part, the galaxy understood that humanity was no longer an underestimated species. The hidden fleet. The demonstration of humanity's hidden fleet had changed the galaxy forever. No empire, no council, and no military power could ever view humans as minor players again. In a matter of hours, the perception of the human species shifted from curiosity and underestimation to awe and cautious respect. Yet, true to their character, humans did not exploit this newfound dominance with aggression or conquest. Instead, they allowed their presence to quietly redefine the rules of interstellar power. This was the hallmark of humanity: calculated, restraint combined with overwhelming capability. The immediate aftermath of the demonstration was chaos among the alien powers. The Kalorn, whose pride had been severely wounded by the human display, struggled to regain credibility among their allies. Reports of their incapacitated fleet spread across other civilizations, forcing rival empires to reassess their strategic assumptions. What had once been a predictable hierarchy of power, the most aggressive and technologically advanced empires dominating the smaller, less developed worlds, was now fundamentally destabilized. Humans had proven that true strength was not always visible on the battlefield. It could lie dormant, patiently waiting for centuries, unseen and unchallenged until the precise moment of revelation. Diplomatic channels became inundated with messages from alien species requesting contact, clarification, and, in some cases, forgiveness. No civilization wanted to risk provoking humanity inadvertently. Even the most ambitious empires realized that open hostility could invite disaster. Humanity's quiet approach, demonstrating power without destruction, was infinitely more intimidating than any act of overt aggression. By exercising restraint, humans forced the galaxy to recognize their superiority on psychological, strategic, and technological levels simultaneously. Earth, now the acknowledged epicenter of human power, became the focal point of this new galactic order. Humans continued to expand their capabilities behind the scenes. Hidden stations near the fleet's locations remained active, with engineers and strategists refining systems, upgrading weapons, and preparing contingencies. Every ship in the fleet, though ancient in origin, was enhanced with modern technology and trained human crews capable of executing flawless maneuvers. The fleet had transformed from a dormant relic into an operational force ready to respond instantly to any potential threat. The Galactic Council, humbled by humanity's demonstration, took unprecedented steps to avoid direct confrontation. While humans did not seek leadership or control over the Council, their presence demanded recognition and respect. Alien diplomats learned quickly that negotiations with humanity required a combination of caution, honesty, and strategic thought. Subterfuge, deceit, and arrogance, once tools of political dominance, were now liabilities when dealing with humans. The Hidden Fleet had made one fact unmistakably clear. Humans had prepared for every scenario, and they were fully capable of executing it with precision. Beyond political influence, the revelation of the fleet had lasting cultural effects across the galaxy. Civilizations began to study humans in ways they never had before. Scholars, historians, and strategists attempted to understand how a species could quietly develop such an advantage, maintain it for millennia, and execute its revelation with such perfect timing. Humans became a benchmark for ingenuity, patience, and strategic thinking. The galaxy's perception of technology, warfare, and civilization itself was recalibrated, as species realized that power was not solely measured by immediate conquest or visible achievement, but by preparation, foresight, and the disciplined accumulation of advantage over time. Meanwhile, humans themselves remained largely humble. They returned to their homeworlds, to orbital stations, and to the maintenance of their fleet with quiet diligence. They did not gloat or flaunt their power. For humanity, the revelation of the fleet was not about dominance for its own sake. It was about security, preparedness, and the demonstration that a patient and intelligent civilization cannot be underestimated. The fleet remained a symbol of human endurance and strategic brilliance, a reminder that civilizations rise and fall, but humans had always been ready, always vigilant, and always capable. Part 5 establishes the central HFY theme. Humans are more than just survivors. They are architects of galactic destiny. Through patience, preparation, and calculated restraint, humans had secured their place as a dominant species without annihilation, diplomacy, or coercion. The Hidden Fleet was both a literal and symbolic manifestation of this capability. And ancient power made relevant, functional, and awe-inspiring in the present. The galaxy had been forced to recognize humanity not as a fledgling species, but as a carefully honed force whose influence would endure for centuries to come. By the end of the story, a new era begins. The galaxy understands that humans are no longer minor players, and any assumptions of inferiority are shattered. Humanity's hidden fleet, once dormant, has awakened not just to demonstrate power, but to establish a precedent. A species that prepares, observes, and acts with precision is a species no one dares to underestimate. The revelation of the fleet marks the beginning of a new interstellar age, one in which humans quietly, but unmistakably, command respect, caution, and admiration throughout the stars.